5K. As a lot of these teams have been running 5K races up until this point. This is the first weekend in October, and there they are, the Michigan Wolverines. Head coach Mike McGuire on the women's side. They're number 8 in the latest U.S. track and field national coaches poll. First in the Great Lakes region. That is just a massive gathering of ranked teams, and they're bringing it to the line today. There you see they're coming off a 3-week training block. The last time they raced was at Happy Valley, Penn State, where the Big Ten championships will be later on this season. And the Wolverines, they are in box number 25. So 40 starting boxes in this field for the gold race, 42. And they're right in the middle. The other ranked team, and they're the number 1 ranked team in Division II. You see their Midwest ranking, regional number 1. They are number 1 in the national coaches poll. They finished first among D2, second overall at the Michigan State Spartan Invitational. You see their top 3 runners there. Hannah Becker leading the way for Coach Jerry Baldus's team from suburban Grand Rapids, Michigan. And the Lakers, they are in box number 11. So a little bit of distance on the starting line. You see the Wolverines from Michigan, again, bringing the number 8 Division I national ranking to this 5K race today. And as Coach McGuire said, they've been here before. They've run the 6K, both maybe at the pre-Nats and the national championship race, as we're getting ready to start the second race of the day. And we're underway, the women's gold 5K race. As we pan the start, you also see the Wisconsin Badgers, the women's team from Wisconsin, coming in ranked number 26 in the country in Division I. And panning all the way over to the right, we'll see those GV-clad Grand Valley State Lakers. As 42 schools in this women's gold race. Other teams included Queens, a strong Division II program, Mississippi State, Memphis, Ohio University, UTEP, Grand Valley again, they were in box number 11, East Tennessee State. Some NAIA programs, St. Francis of Illinois. They are number 1 ranked in the NAIA women's poll. The number 4 ranked team from Taylor in the NAIA women's poll. They're also in this race as the pack of runners headed out toward the first left-hand turn. And mostly gradual turns here, so there's nothing that really brings everybody to a screeching halt. There are some gradual 180s that will take the field back in the direction from where they came. The 5K course, or 3.1 miles, the distance that is the most common cross-country distance in high school. And they're running that today in this gold race and also in the second race of the day for women. The blue race, the silver race, which is the pre-Nats for the Division III teams. They're going to run the official distance of 6 kilometers for women to prepare them for the national championships. We'll be back here at EP Tom Sawyer in November. So the first 4,000 plus meters of the 6K is duplicated in the 5K, and there's just a couple quick left-hand turns that puts them on the finish straightaway to close out this shorter distance, this 5,000 meter race. Later on today, after we're off the air, a number of high school invitational races, making this billing it as the largest cross-country invitational east of the Mississippi. And again, making those left-hand turns, coming toward the 1K mark as I see at least 3 Michigan Wolverines right up toward the front, 2 right against the left-hand side of this course. Also from Xavier, see those colors up toward the front. And a year or 2 ago, one of the alumni from that program was the winner here in Louisville. But the Wolverines making their presence known, just as the Wisconsin men did early on in their 8K race. Things tighten up over the course of that almost 5-mile run, with the Grand Valley State Lakers making a run at the Badgers. But it was D1, D2 in that event. We'll see how things go with Grand Valley State, their #1 ranked women's team in this event, along with the #8 Michigan Wolverines, again, coached by Mike McGuire. They are through the 1K area, headed toward the opening mile. We'll have the 2K split and 3.9, just as we did in the men's race. Once again, the exact same layout as they would run in the 6K for the pre-nats later on today, duplicated for the opening 4,300 meters in this gold race, a 5-kilometer distance. The Wolverines I mentioned earlier, Mike McGuire said they just came out of a 3-week training block. They like to run these 5Ks early in the season, build them up to that extra 1,000 meters when it comes to conference and regional and national championship time. There they are right up front, the maize and blue of Michigan. The lead runner for the Wolverines right now, it looks to be Erica Vanderlende. But she has teammates alongside, so the Wolverines are looking very good early on in this women's 6K. Oh, excuse me, 5K. The gold race. And at the Harry Grove Spike Shoe Invitational at Penn State that I mentioned earlier, Erica finished 5th overall. As Georgetown and Minnesota were ahead of the Wolverines, a very tight team race in Happy Valley. Georgetown finished with 48, Minnesota with 51, and Michigan was 3rd with 54. As they're making that turning around 180. We're coming up to the 2K checkpoint here momentarily. And there's the mats. And we'll get timing and scoring a couple seconds to give us a leader and also see how that team order is coming along. But it's definitely going to be some Michigan Wolverines in front. As I mentioned at Happy Valley, Erica was 5th. Her teammate Kayla Windham-Mueller was 6th. So that right now 4 Wolverines right up front. They're going to put a low score on the board today here in Louisville. And Celie McCabe from West Virginia, one of the other top programs. They are nationally ranked coming in. 6:45 through 2,100 meters. Rachel Butler from Xavier. Musketeers also clocked in 6:45 with Kayla Windham-Mueller, Erica Vanderlende, and Caitlin Hart, all credited with 6:46 efforts through the first 2,100 meters team-wise. Again, Michigan had 3 in that first grouping, As you see the breakaway group right there, it is 3 Michigan Wolverines.
Thank you.
And through 2,100 meters, Michigan 28 points, Wisconsin 79. West Virginia at 130, Lipscomb at 134. Grand Valley State slow in moving up in this race. Again, this is only a 5K distance today. So the Lakers have a lot of work ahead of them in a very short time. But Rachel Butler, the senior from Xavier, you see her gray kit sort of stands out amongst all the darker colors, either West Virginia or Michigan. All those
Can I whip my camera around?
Dark uniforms up front. Purity Sanga from Louisville. She is also amongst the lead group as 4 Wolverines in that top 7. There is a nice shot, that lead group of 6, 4 of those being Wolverines. So Mike McGuire has to be a happy man right now. West Virginia was number 4 in the Mid-Atlantic region. But it's Wolverines dominating the front. You see Sanga also there in that red uniform. A Michigan standout, Aaron Finn, holds the 5K course record here in Louisville, 16:26.7. That was in the 2016 Greater Louisville Classic, as it was called back then. Ali Ostrander from Boise State, 16:28.2 a year later. As you see, the lead group of 7 make that 8 now. And that second runner in red trying to tighten up the gap. But it's all Wolverines up front. Windemuller, Vanderland, Hart, and Says. But they're working off the lead of Rachel Butler from Xavier. Butler is a senior. And at the Butler Twilight meet, she ran 17:19.8. She was the overall winner there by about 4 seconds. And today she's surrounded by Michigan Wolverines as the number 8 Division I program on the women's side is showing they are going to be a force to be reckoned with when the Big Ten championships return to Penn State, and at the regional meet, and then the national championships, which will be at Florida State University. They're heading their way through this 4th kilometer. Again, Celie McCabe from West Virginia, the sophomore, was credited with the lead at 6:45. Butler also the same time through 2,100 meters. Team-wise, the scoring's been updated. Michigan with 39, Wisconsin with 114, West Virginia 173 through the first checkpoint. Grand Valley State bumps up to number 8. With Lipscomb, Middle Tennessee State, Miami of Ohio, and Radford, the other teams in front of them. And some slight separation between, it looks like Butler and McCabe, and the Michigan contingent. And they'll be headed toward that next timing and scoring mat. And there they go. Again, they're in the final 1,000 meters of this women's 5K, the gold race. Live coverage of the Live in Lou Cross Country Classic. Sealy McCabe leads Rachel Butler. And you saw the Michigan contingent flash in front of you. Also saw some Badgers. There's 3 Wisconsin now, another runner from Michigan. So McCabe, 12:47, and Butler, same time, through 3,900 meters. Windemuller, a second back. Caitlin Hart also a second back for Michigan. The run to the finish in this women's gold race, the second of 6 live events, is Sealy McCabe from West Virginia. The sophomore has separated herself from Rachel Butler.
Yeah, she's close.
They'll be approaching the finish line straight here momentarily.
She's getting
It is
close.
Sealy McCabe. McCabe, a sophomore for the Mountaineers. She was 6th in the 3,000 meter steeplechase of 9:37 in the D1 National Championships back in June. That was a PR for her. She's a 4:19 1500 runner, and she's gone 17:14.3 over the 5K distance in cross country, and she has a sizable advantage, similar to the breakaway that Isaac Harding made in the men's gold race. McCabe has made and added a little bit to that. She has simply blown away this field over the final 500 meters. She's entering the finish line straight now. Just a little up and down and a left or right hand turn, gradual, and Sealy McCabe is going to be headed toward the finish line and victory in this women's 5,000 meter gold race at the Live in Lou Classic. The course record a 16:26. That was Erin Finn. Here comes Sealy McCabe, the Mountaineer, only a sophomore. In the cross-country championships, she finished 42nd with the time of 21:01 for 6 kilometer to the finish line. Powering to the line, the Mountaineer sophomore under 16:30. And here comes some Wolverines to secure that team title today in Louisville. And Wolverines next across the line, McCabe's official time. So Windemuller was second for the Wolverines. As you see, lots of maize and blue up front in this race. Some Badgers also from Wisconsin doing very well. Again, a nationally ranked team. As Sealy McCabe's official time, 16:27.8. Windemuller, 16:41.3. And Carmen Riano, just a freshman from Miami of Ohio, Oxford, Ohio, 16:42.3. So a great performance there, as all underclassmen in the top 3. Fourth place goes to Caitlin Hart. Erica Vanderlinde finishes 5th as the Wolverines put 3 in the top 5. Shea Ruley from Wisconsin, number 6. Kathleen Sims from Leola the junior, finished 7th. Hannah Moran from Radford. Rachel Butler faded to 9th, the senior from Xavier, and Ann Forsyth, number 10, as you see the top 14 there. For Michigan, as the Wolverines and Wisconsin dominate the top 10. The Wolverines currently with 26 points to 48 for Wisconsin. The Mountaineers from West Virginia, 68, a very fine effort thus far as, again, continue to recalculate these team scores as the rest of this field streams across the line. But your winner with a very strong move, Celie McCabe from WVU, 16:27.8, wins by almost 14 seconds. For a while, it looked like we'd have our second Xavier winner over the past 3 years as Anna Costarellis won the 2019 Live in Lou Classic with the time of 16:43 for the 5K. Jenna Gearing from Kentucky a year ago was 16:51. So a step up time-wise. Celie McCabe from WVU, the winner, at 16:27. As you see the rest of the field in this women's gold race, the first of 6 collegiate races live on FloTrack. I'm Phil Grove. Glad to be here on a gorgeous Saturday morning, the first Saturday in October as the season and the focus has started to turn in collegiate cross country. A year ago, Notre Dame was the women's gold race winner with 47 points. Right now, the Michigan Wolverines have 38, so a very strong effort for Mike McGuire's team. Wisconsin second with 73. West Virginia now at 122. Grand Valley State is creeping up the final standings. They're at number 6 currently with 217. Lipscomb and Middle Tennessee State filling in the number 4 and 5 slot. And there's a look at our current standings. Once again, 42 teams had full teams, and Michigan leading the way. The Wolverines put 4 in the top 10. Wisconsin 4 in the top 22 with their 5th and 6th runners right behind their number 5. West Virginia with that number 1 stick from Celie McCabe. A strong 3rd right now at 122 points. And we have some invitations out to our top performers today. Hopefully we'll have a chance to speak live with them before we close out our show in this 20th annual Live in Lou Cross Country Classic. Isaac Harding, your winner in the opening race, the men's gold race over 8 kilometers, held off Owen Hacker from Wisconsin. And Celie McCabe, her margin of victory, 13.5 seconds, and all of that in the final 1,000 meters. The 4 races remaining on the collegiate schedule today from Kentucky. The men's blue race, another 8K, scheduled to kick off at 10:45. That's just about 8 minutes away. The women's blue race at 11:30, and then the men's silver